Have you ever heard of the elevator game? It's a Korean urban legend said to allow anyone who can correctly follow the steps of the ritual game to access another world. The rules are simple. The player must find an elevator inside a building with at least 10 floors, ride it alone, and stop at each floor in a very specific order. And most importantly, making sure not to trust anyone else who enters the elevator, should they join you. The player must stay inside the elevator for the entirety of the game, as each floor is visited in the following sequence. First floor, fourth floor, second floor, sixth floor, second floor, 10th floor, and then finally, the 5th floor. At this point, a woman should enter the elevator from the 5th floor. It's highly suggested that you do not look in her direction, with the rules stressing that she isn't human. If you're successful in avoiding her, you can now press the button to return to the first floor. If each step has been followed correctly, the ritual will have been completed, and the elevator will instead take you back to the 10th floor. Upon arriving on the 10th floor, the doors will open to an alternate reality where no one exists aside from the player. Every single light will be off, and a red cross will be visible in the distance through every window. That's how you know you're there. There's speculation as to whether electronic devices will function in this reality or not, so you'll just have to check. Once the player is ready to return to the natural world, it's required that they use the same elevator as they arrived in, though it may prove to be difficult, as the elevator is subject to move, relocating itself as you approach. If you're able to get back inside the original elevator, each floor must be visited in the same exact order as before, up until the 5th floor. It's there that the player may again be visited, this time by a ghostly girl who may appear as herself or in disguise. Her intentions are only to lure the player away from returning to the natural world through persuasion and trickery. The rules of the game strictly forbid the player from talking to her, touching her, or even looking at her. The player must then press any button between the 1st and 10th floor, any of which will return them to the 1st floor and safely back where they started. However, the game suggests that the player pays close attention to the small details of their environment, making sure nothing stands out as abnormal. That's the only way the player can truly be sure that they've returned to the real world and haven't become trapped in the alternate reality. And in closing, it's best to get used to looking out for the telltale signs of reality, as the effects of the alternate reality can potentially remain hidden for years at a time. So you may never know for sure if you're really back where you started.